Meantime, U.S.-listed shares of Roche surging 7.5% today after the company released upbeat clinical data on its oral GLP-1 weight loss drug. Participants losing 6.1% more body weight than patients taking a placebo after 4 weeks on this drug. Those results sending shares of weight loss heavyweights Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk each down nearly 4%. Other companies developing pills like Structure and Viking Therapeutics also sharply lower. Let's get more now with Mizuho healthcare sector strategist Jared Holz, who is actually in the studio this time.
As
Jared,
opposed to last time, which he had nothing to do, which he just said.
She just didn't feel like being here.
Please continue.
Anyway, so this is one of the drugs that Roche acquired from Carmot. And the other drug, they had positive results back in May also for that obesity drug. So is Roche, does it have like a good chance now of getting something, all the way through the pipeline?
It's so hard to say. I mean, they're in the game. I mean, that was the purpose of acquiring the company for almost $3 billion last year. They're in the conversation. I think it's way too early. And this trial today, this oral obesity, 6 patients, I believe all of them were out of Australia.
Wait, there were six patients?
6 patients.
In the study?
So we're talking about...
It should be like not even counted, I would think, statistically insignificant.
I didn't think it was going to have that major of an impact, but we've...
And at least somebody from New Zealand as well.
Exactly. We've talked about all these trials that continue to hit. They're going to continue to come over the next year or two. And every time they seem to have a profound impact on the shares of Lilly, Novo, they bounce back almost every time. I think the same thing will happen here. And Viking and Structure, I thought were down way too much. I mean, you've Roche gaining $17 billion worth of value today, yet you've got companies that are a fraction of that are moving lower. I felt like, if anything, they should be flat, maybe even up. I think the market will figure this out, if not tomorrow, in the coming weeks, and those stocks will go back up.
So I know it's a gigantic, huge market, but if you see results like this today that are so far away from actually turning into a product, do you expect to see others sort of drop out of the race?
I don't think so. And
only too big.
Too big. I mean, the market cap, you got 2 companies that have a combined market cap of almost $2 trillion. The market's begging these companies to be here, begging them. I mean, there's been nothing that's moved pharma stocks like this in the history of the industry, really. So for all those that are onlookers that have not made investments here that still might, I think the odds that they get into the game, whether it's a Merck, a J&J, et cetera, are pretty high.
So, by the way, go Browns, and great to have you here. And I don't know what these guys are saying. Sometimes you just can't get here. That same show, I happen to not be here, too. But we participated from afar, Jared.
We did.
And I think about, though, everything we're saying is reasons why you should be very worried, though, I think, about Lilly and about Novo. Because if ultimately everybody's going to get there, any hint of people getting in tells you that people are worried about these valuations and that the addressable market dynamic. But I'm long Lilly. I'm long some other stuff, too. But I do think that this is a harbinger of price action. There's no question about it. And yes, they may be overreactions for now based upon 6 dudes in Australia. But I think this is something we should listen to.
I think so, too. I think the thing that bothers me more about Lilly than anything else is that it's up so much this year. Right? If this were a stock that was up 15 or 20%, it's probably flat today. It's up 60. So I think you're seeing a correction. Obviously, the market orientation would have probably sent Lilly and Novo down, or they would have been flat today anyway. I'm not super worried about it, but I mean, the competition is coming. It's very significant across pharma, across biotech, so there are going to be more of these.
But the puck moves in this game, right?
Ooh,
I mean,
nice.
And I hate sports because I can't really follow through beyond the puck moves. But basically, they're going to come out to market with an oral GLP-1. Fantastic. But the next goal is going to be a GLP-1 or a weight loss drug that doesn't deteriorate muscle mass and so on. Right. And so if Eli Lilly and Novo are still ahead of the game in those races, then they will maintain their lead.
Do I hear about a hat trick possibly?
I don't even know what that is. I'm not going to try that.
I think that's right, too. I mean, I think Lilly and Novo are years ahead. They've got the most money, so they're the most well-capitalized. They can continue to innovate probably better, faster than any of the other players. And they're going to have different modalities, different drugs that they bring to market, probably before a Roche, before a Pfizer. So I'm not incredibly worried about the competition. But like anytime you have 2 companies with this sort of lead and there's any sort of conversation at all that others could kind of penetrate that market, you're going to see share weakness.
And part of this is a rotation, right? I mean, just into the rotation that's going on in the broader markets in total, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, today,
Pfizer is turning around.
What? That's crazy.
Right.
You're Pfizer.
I know.
Pfizer, the 30 handle for the first time since 23.
Yeah.
Right, Pfizer up a lot, Bristol up almost 5% at one point today. So you're getting a value and you're getting an underperformer rotation, which is kind of synonymous at this point, concurrent with this news. It kind of all set up for Lilly and Novo to underperform today. I don't really think, I doubt it lasts.